This is the fictional Mindbender, and I want to take a look at how the 2016 animated series from Netflix, Voltron, the Legendary Defender, handled the portrayal of one of its characters, that being Pidge, and how I think that was good and where I think it went wrong, the philosophy behind that as well. So to begin with, the Voltron Legendary Defender series was based off the old 80s Voltron series that anyone from Gen X and older happens to know, obviously. And of course, it's its own universe, but it does take the obvious major points of that show to apply to the new series. That you have 5 pilots who pilot 5 lions, and that there's a princess, and that you're fighting some sort of alien force and you have to combine to this giant robot to defeat the bad guys. That's pretty much the premise of it. And to the 2016 show's credit, it does make that a lot more nuanced. It's not as simple, and that there are episodes where the lions are not even used, and that the forming of Voltron, I think in a way, was used sparingly. But perhaps the most surprising thing to me to this show, when I actually took a look at it because I was curious, was how it handled the character of Pidge. Now, in the old 80s series, Pidge is the shortest character in the show, but also one of the most capable. And Pidge is a guy, okay, with a high squeaky voice, but is still a guy. What the Voltron 2016 series does is that without any indication whatsoever, it kind of pulls the rug out from under you and reveals that their version of Pidge is actually a woman. That being that her brother had disappeared, some years back, and that she joins up so that she can find him and her father. And in order to do that, she feels the best way to do that is to basically be a guy so that no one recognizes her or knows what she's doing. And one of the brilliant things I liked about this portrayal was that there were no hints whatsoever to this reveal. For me, anyway, this literally came out of nowhere, where she just kind of drops that, yeah, I have something to tell you, I'm a girl. But what was better, I think, was that everyone's reaction to that, which is basically like either, yeah, we already knew, or okay, great, we don't care, moving on. Basically, essentially that Pidge's gender is a mute point, essentially, that everyone accepts the character for who she is and what she is contributing to the team, regardless of any faults or positives that she may have, and that's pretty much it. And the reason why I think this was great is because of the fact that, yes, it's putting a new kind of progressive spin on the character doing a gender bend, but at the same time, it's not making it a big deal. They're showing, not telling, and they're letting the story tell itself and then moving on. It's not a point that they consistently harp on over and over and over again to the point where it starts to feel like you're being preached to. And this was something that I felt that the producers of the show should have kept going. That, because later on in later seasons, they start making announcements that, oh, well, this character is actually gay, and we're actually going to show a gay relationship, and X, Y, and Z. Just making these announcements beforehand that they're going to make all these moves and basically what I would consider, get some virtue points. A lot of that ended up backfiring for one reason or another, depending on what story you want to believe. And in the end, it caused, I think, more headaches for the fans and definitely for the voice actors than what it was worth. And I think that was because they stopped letting the story tell the story. It became instead a promotional thing. rather than a storytelling thing. And anytime that the story stops being told and you start trying to market something, the story usually is going to fall apart at some point. I mean, if you want to be honest, even in the 80s, they tended to understood this because, let's be honest, most 80s cartoons were about selling merchandise. And everyone acknowledges this. No one's going to argue that. But at the same time, they let the story tell the story. They weren't promoting, so to speak, at any point that, oh, hey, we're going to have this new whatever it is, and it's going to be the new big thing and stuff like that. Rather, all they did was, yeah, they'll show a commercial showing, the new Transformer or the new G.I. Joe vehicle, whatever. But, that's about it. And the show, they will just continue showing whatever it is they already have until they just stop showing it. At worst, if it's a particular character, they may decide to kill off the character like they tried to do with Optimus Prime back in Transformers the movie. And that backfired spectacularly. But the point being that they let the story tell the story, and therefore they got away with what they got away with. And now that's not working so much, at least for half the population, I guess you can say. Also, too, what made the 2016 series handling of Pidge great was that at no point do they talk down on the previous or representations of the show. In fact, they have one or two episodes where they flat out show elements of the original Voltron series, and while it does make fun of it, at the same time it's doing it in such a respectful way that, even if you were an old school fan, that, it was charming rather than insulting. And that takes really good writing. You have to have a really good sense of balance and able to write something that is both current while at the same time respectful, but not, putting them out to pasture, so to speak. And those were just, my thoughts on the philosophy behind the gender reveal of Pidge during the Voltron series. Again, in a show that was chock full of mistakes and drama and controversy, that it deserves props as well, and that's one of the biggest props I think that it deserved of how to handle that, and that I hope future shows and movies follow that example as well. But if you think differently, go ahead and comment below, and I hope you all have a good day.